How I got into real estate was many years ago. It's been a very long process. It is something that I've enjoyed every single day doing what I do. You hear the cliches about, you have to have passion for what you're doing. And I can tell you that, passion is the number one thing that you really do have to have, because you're going to have a lot of ups and downs. You're going to have a lot of trials and tribulations. You're going to have days where, it seems unsurmountable, right? You may not be able to overcome that challenge, but you have to continue moving forward in the direction and being able to, work with a lot of the resources, being resourceful, finding resources that can help you be able to grow and sort of take that next step. And I think the most important thing to realize is, it's going to be difficult, but you got to keep going. You have to keep moving forward. There are many times that people told me no. There are many times that, deals just kind of fell apart, and it would have been very easy to throw in the towel and say, you know what, I'm not going to do this. But in the back of my mind, my biggest why was always family, early investors, and even lenders that believed in me, so that I was almost at the point where I couldn't fail. I had to keep moving forward because I had others that relied on me, and really that's the only way that you can live up to your word. And in this life, that's really the biggest thing that we have, is doing exactly what you said you're going to do, and executing and moving forward. Why should a real estate investor invest in commercial properties? We feel that commercial properties are some of the most stable, secure investment programs out there. There is nothing like investing in an income producing property or investing in a ground up development. See, when we do ground up development, we look at exactly what our costs are. We analyze the market, we verify the rents, we do a very deep detailed dive into how we're putting this project together, so that when we're coming out and actually doing this project, we've reduced our risk substantially. So a lot of investors ask me, why did we select this project to develop? So the number one reason to develop a project is there is demand in a market, and there was no greater demand than this specific market, right? The project that you see right behind me, this was a 13-story building. That's how it was designed before. I said, listen, that does not work. We also have to be conscious of our cost and the time to be able to return investment back to our partners. So I shrunk it down and we turned it into a 7-story building. These are the things that, as we're going through a project, as we're understanding the due diligence part, as we're looking at all the components that play a part, we have to keep in mind. Because in order to be successful in any given project, you have to make sure that you're going through all the details. You have to make sure that you're doing everything you can, because remember, it's not just about us, it's about our partners, our investors, and our family. That's why we do these projects, because we want to make sure that we bring value to each and every one of them. So in order to build a successful product, to exit successfully, we have to understand the market. We have to understand the market when it comes to our tenant profile, the residents that are living here, and in addition to understanding what the market means from an economic perspective, right? What it means to be able to generate revenue, what it means to create a net operating income stream that has substantial value. When we're looking at our tenant mixes and what we're trying to design, we want to make sure that we're also giving them amenities, good amenities that they're going to want to be a part of, enjoy, live, stick around for a long time. We want our residents to be happy where they're living. Why? Because it's important to us. As a developer, we have pride in what we're doing, but not just that. We have to make sure that our residents enjoy their stay in our communities. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the two most important things for me, for our company, to be able to reduce risk. In any project, I think there's two key things that you always have to have in mind, that we have in mind as a company, as individuals in our company. We're always focused on this. Relationships. Not a lot of people put enough weight on that. Relationships we have with county officials, with attorneys, with engineers, with architects, design team, with material suppliers, with contractors. The relationships that we forged over the years allow us to guide and steward these projects successfully, right? And it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes time to cultivate these relationships. Relationships with investment partners who are there with you every step of the way, in the good and in the bad, right? Investment partners, construction lenders who understand what's going on as well. These are all relationships that you have to form over time. And we've done that. We've built up this core group of relationships. And the other thing that is very important is, in order to reduce risk, contingencies. Not enough weight is put on contingencies as well. Contingencies are what if scenarios, right? What happens if this, but in terms of dollars. So you want to make sure you set aside enough contingencies that for the future, if there is a what if or worst case scenario, you have that covered. You have it covered, right? It's part of the project cost. It's part of the total development cost. Because if you can do that, when the problems arise, which they will, they always will. When they do, you're able to cover it and continue moving forward. Continue stewarding this project to the end, to the exit, to whatever your goal is. That's what we do as an investment management company. As a developer, we focus on making sure we get to the end, and over the course of the project, we have these contingencies built in, and we solidify our relationships and bring in whoever we need that we can work with to help us get to the end. So now we have reached, in our development process, in the development timeline, we've reached the exit. This is the stage where now we're going to dispose of the asset. We're going to sell it. We're going to sell it to a very large institutional company who is going to pay a premium for the type of product that we've developed. But how does that happen? How do you get to that point? Well, you have to start at the beginning. You have to make sure you design a very good product. You have to work with good resources, with your engineers and your architects, to be able to solidify a design that will, one, get approved by the city officials, but also have a good quality of living for future residents, future tenants. So you have to have good design. Once we get beyond that and we get our projects approved, you have to find out what this is going to cost, right? We have a good benchmark of what these projects are costing us because we take a very deep, detailed dive into understanding where all of our materials are coming from, what the labor cost to all this is going to be. And we also factor in substantial contingencies so that we can make sure that if there is a what if scenario, prices go up, gasoline goes up, all these other issues, we're prepared for them. Once we understand that at a very, very deep level, then we bring on the contractors to begin processing and constructing the project, right? We work with multiple different subcontractors. The relationships that we have forged over the years, that helps us reach record times. This building was built in 12 months. That is a record. No project like this was built that fast. Why? Because it was well designed, well thought out, and we had a good team of contractors on every trade moving the project forward. What happens once the project is finished? The next step is we go into lease up. The building has to get leased, right? We have to bring in a good quality team to do the leasing. And we work alongside them so that we approve tenants, so that we build a cohesive environment for others to live. Once we have filled up the building and it has been stabilized, it is income producing, income generating, then what do? We refinance and we pay off our existing lenders. We pay off our construction loans and we get ready to either hold for the long term. As an investment partner, you can hold with us for the long term for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, or we can dispose and exit of an asset within 5 to 10 years. So we have reached the end. The investment has run its course. We are now very proud to say that it is time to exit this particular project. The market has told us this is the time to sell. This is the time where we're going to generate the most returns for all of our investment partners, paid back all of our lenders, and now it is time to exit, take those profits, and redeploy them into our next investment. We would love to work with you. If everything that you've seen here appeals to you, shows you what an investment manager and a developer should be like, keep us in mind on your next investment. We would love to work with you. I will see you in the next one.